Good?
Hold on. Yeah, but
Like
I have to
Probably not good to have your name right there.
probably do it in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's kitchen. Good?
Oh, we're already recording. Hold
Yeah.
on.
What's up, YouTube? Before we get the whole video started with the NWA Worlds Heavyweight Champion, he's not just a champion of the wrestling world, but also the supplement industry. I'm talking about Legacy, Sports, and Nutrition. It's a great supplement line. If you use this discount code, Malcolm, you can save 10%. But we'll talk about that more within the video. Sweet. What's up, YouTube? Life is good. God is real because the NWA is back. And today I'm here talking to their world champion, the national treasure, Nick Aldis. How are you?
What's up, Malcolm? Long time no see, my friend.
Exactly. It's been a minute. How's everything been going so far?
Well, I can't complain. Obviously, it's been a less than ideal 12 months for me and the NWA, but for me personally, it's, you know, staying blessed. So I'm glad to get back to work and very excited about this pay-per-view.
Me as well. Me as well. I mean, the NWA is coming back this Sunday for NWA Back for the Attack. But also, it seems that not just wrestling fans are excited for this, as there's a new holiday in October called NWA Day, which was established in the state of Georgia.
The great state of Georgia.
Great state of Georgia. Amazing state. To be a representative for this monumental moment, how does that feel for this promotion to be acknowledged at this capacity?
Well, look, that, you know, that's very, very flattering. It's always very kind. You know, something of that stature, you know, recognizes your brand and the work you've done, and a lot of that credit belongs to Dr. Stinson, who's part of the This Is Pro Wrestling team. You know, they've obviously been diehard supporters of the NWA, really from the beginning, and you know, Stinson's well connected. He's part of that Georgia mafia. You know, he's got a lot of connections in the Senate, and so he was able to sort of help push that thing through. But it was very cool. I will say this: I was very very impressed at the lack of red tape. You know, just sort of walked straight into the Capitol and just, you know, straight up the stairs, met Senator Mullis, and right away they were like, "Oh, the governor's ready right now." Because sometimes they said, "Look, sometimes you have to wait a little while. It's the governor," and they were like, "Oh no, come on up! Like, governor's waiting for you." So I walked straight in and had a nice chat with Governor Kemp, and you know, chopped it up a little bit about wrestling, and he wanted to know he wanted to know who Wrestling One was. It's still a mystery to this day with all those old boys. But no, in all seriousness, look, you know, I think it just is a testament to what we've tried to represent with the NWA, which is to sort of embrace the history of pro wrestling instead of we all understand that the business continues to move forward, but I feel like sometimes there's almost these sort of generational wars sort of start to develop, where it's like every generation feels the need to sort of bury the generation after them, and then subsequently the current generations then feel the need to sort of rebel against like the old ways, you know. And I just do not conform to that mentality whatsoever. Like, if I like something, I like it. I don't care if it was from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, whatever. You know, it's like good wrestling is good wrestling. And you know, and for us with the NWA, like we embrace and capitalize on the rich sort of legacy of the brand, and especially of the championship. That's really what we've built the whole thing around.
Of course. No, it sounds like you guys have a good holiday in October. It sounds like
well, of course, October 21st, of course, being the day that I beat Cody, you know, which is why the state of Georgia is celebrating it so much.
As they should. That was a good match. Of course, how I see it, NWA Day should be this Sunday because March 21st is Back for the Attack. You guys are defending, or you're defending the title in the main event. Talk to me about the main event, who you're facing, and why should NWA fans want to watch this pay-per-view?
Well, look, you know, it's a bittersweet situation because, as many people know, we lost Joseph Hudson, you know, in a very, very sad, tragic, sudden way that, you know, just caught us all by surprise. You know, obviously it's never nice, you know, it's never fun to lose a friend or a colleague, you know, and a teammate. But, you know, in this instance, it was just especially hard because it was just so out of the blue and such a sort of freak thing. Obviously, it really it made things, you know, kind of, it put a different energy into things when we were discussing what we wanted to headline the pay-per-view with, because we were kicking around all sorts of different names. Of what about this person? What about that guy? Why don't we call this promotion and, you know, do this? And none of it felt right. It you know, it all there was this sort of, it was sort of looming over us. You know, we were kind of like, what is, you know, it just feels weird to just be sort of ignoring it. And that's why we decided that the best person, you know, the most deserving person of a title shot was Aron Stevens, because not only is Aron, you know, was he, you know, a great friend to Joseph, and obviously they were teammates and, you know, very closely associated on the show, but also because he represents a lot of the same things that Joseph represented to this organization, which was, you know, an esteemed professional, very intelligent, very hardworking, very dedicated guy whose talent perhaps is a bit underappreciated, and an ultimate team player, like just a guy who's, you know, gonna do whatever he needs to do to help make the show better, and a seasoned pro. So it was like, you know, he deserves a title shot. Like, he deserves a chance to show that he can main event when the circumstances are right. So although it's a bittersweet situation, obviously nobody would want to be dealing with these particular circumstances, but circumstances as they are, it just seemed like the perfect opportunity for Aron to be recognized for what he's done for the company.
Of course. I actually wanted to talk about Jocephus for a second, and question mark for those who know both characters. What was your fondest memory of him? And I guess what I want to ask is, what did he contribute in rebuilding the NWA? Because I know a lot of people are crediting him with a lot of NWA's now success.
Yeah, he did wear a lot of hats. He and I, you know, were often bonded over that, because we were, you know, we both were sort of guys who were willing to kind of roll up our sleeves and get involved with whatever we needed to. But for one thing, for an example, you know, obviously Joseph, he was a talented editor and director, but the thing he particularly kind of hung his hat on creatively were the commercials that you saw on NWA Power. He did my Retromania commercial. For Retromania, you know, he did that. I mean, that's probably my fondest memory of him. One of them is when he just came over to my house and we set up a green screen and we just sort of as ad-libbed, you know, just sort of threw different ideas around and would sort of bounce back and forth, like, oh, what about if we did this, you know, we did that. And he brought like old game controllers and stuff like that, so he could just, you know, just little things. I mean, we laughed so hard shooting that, and then, you know, and then I couldn't wait to see the finished product when he did it. You know, that he lit up doing that kind of stuff, you know. Like, I remember when he had composed his own music for the question mark character, because obviously with NWA Power, you know, with studio wrestling, you know, you don't come out to music, you just walk through the curtain. Yep. But then with pay-per-views, you know, there would be an entrance down the steps with the music and everything, and he was like, wait till you hear this. And I remember getting to the studio that day and he was like, listen to this, and he plays it over and you know, and it was it was just so, you know, it's just so classic sort of Joseph. He's just like, he's just beaming about it. He contributed a lot in that respect, that it was like he was one of those people who, he was so very, very intelligent, but also very he always had an idea. Like, there was never a time where he would sort of be like, I don't know, you know. He always had something, you know, which you need guys like that around, because it helps keep everything sort of ticking. And then even if it's not exactly that, it's like that helps, you know, you connect the dots and go, oh, well, that's good, but what if we did this, you know. And you need guys like that. Like, he's a huge part of the team in that respect. And really, just, I haven't said anything, I'm not saying anything that hasn't already been said, but he was just genuinely so well liked by everyone. You know, he was very eccentric, like a sort of lovably weird, odd guy, but like just you know, he will be missed, and I'm very glad that the pay-per-view is being dedicated to him, because he deserves to have everyone on the show sort of tip their hat to him, and you know what he's been able to do. It's I wish that we could have fans. That's the only sort of kicker on it, is I wish that there were going to be fans in the room to sort of help punctuate that.
Of course, he's definitely going to be missed. And we touched on the fact that you are defending the title against one of his friends, Aron Stevens, formerly known as Damien Sandow for a lot of people. Outside of just being the fact that he's an underrated talent, what's the likelihood of seeing him actually becoming the NWA Worlds Champion this Sunday?
Well, you don't stay world champion for as long as I have by underestimating anyone.
Okay.
So I don't intend to just assume that it's, you know, it's a done deal. Let's just say that, you know, anything can happen, especially with the circumstances as they are.
While he is defending that title this Sunday, actually, the only way he's going to be able to defend that title and regain that championship is through his supplement line, Legacy Sports Nutrition. I actually want to read you guys a little bit about it. So, if you experience a loss of motivation, energy, or sex drive, or if you're noticing you're a little softer around the middle than you used to be, I'm going to leave that part in. It could be that your testosterone levels have dropped. By the time you reach the age of 30, in most cases, your T levels have declined, and low T can lead to a loss of muscle mass, depression, lack of energy, and low sex drive. The good news is you can redeem this with Test X9. This revolutionary new formula comprises of 9 clinically proven ingredients. If you want to take it to the next level, you can maximize your results with Ultimate Test Stack, which combines Test X9 with T Assist. Don't settle for average, man up at LegacySubs.com. Use code Malcolm to save 10% off your entire order. Back to Nick Aldis. While you are the NWA World Champion, there's a few other world champions out there in the world, and one in particular is really interested in winning other people's world championships. And a lot of people want to see the match one day. So what's the likelihood of ever seeing an opportunity to see Omega versus Aldis for the NWA World's title?
Well, first of all, he'd have to put all those other lesser belts up for grabs, because what's in it for me? Like, okay. What's in it for me?
Well, I mean, yeah, he can put those belts on the line too. You know, throw all those trinkets.
First and foremost, the money's got to be right, and secondly, there's got to be stakes that equal winning the NWA Worlds Championship. You can have as many belts as you want, but there's only one 10 pounds of gold.
So if he put his other trinkets, we could say, on the line, that you would agree to that match.
Well, that would be interesting. It just in the just as a sort of incentive to, you know, to humiliate him and shut up all these stands that are, you know, praising him as the savior of wrestling.
Oh, so you don't think that's true? Not at all.
I hold the championship that's been held by Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Dory Funk, Jack Briscoe. You know,
I mean, that is a.
Who do I have to? What do I have to? What do I need to prove to anyone?
Said it there. Yeah, perfect. Makes sense. Well, I know one day we would love to all see that possible match.
He has a 2-year-old belt. He has a belt that is 2 years old.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Right? 2, 3, whatever it is.
But it's shiny.
Very, very shiny. Yeah, very ostentatious.
Yeah.
It would look great. I'm sure it looked very nice in a hip hop video from the early 2000s.
I could see that. A nice
maybe Cisco,
yeah.
You know, somebody like that, some tricked out, you know, lowrider or something. You know, it's kind of what I feel like when I see it. But hey, like I said, that's not even the issue here. If the fans want to see it, then you can let whoever you need to let know, and I'll be waiting. And if you know they put the right number of zeros on the contract for it, then we can make it happen. Otherwise, it's mental masturbation, as they say.
I mean, yeah. I've never heard of that analogy before, but I will keep that in my head now. That's the one to remember, I guess. But the final thing I want to talk about today is just 2 different fan questions, and then we can let you move on with the rest of your day. I'm sure you're very busy. The first one that we have is from Shanigan Wrestling, and he said, what's your favorite company to work with? And to elaborate on what he's asking, you defend the title in many different independent promotions. Which has been your favorite so far?
I mean, I've always had good experiences working with Ring of Honor. Okay. They've always been very accommodating to me and very professional. House of Hardcore, you know, Dreamer, you know, he loves and appreciates the wrestling business, and you know, they showed me the right amount of respect, you know, in allowing me to sort of do things my way, and understanding that that was the best thing to do to stand out, right? Like, of course, it wasn't a case of, like, I never understand when, you know, when people say, oh, when you go wrestle in this country, it's a different style, and that country a different style. Like, yeah, I understand that, but they want to see you be you, you know. And I kind of feel that way too with the promotions as well. Like, if I was to show up in a different promotion, for example, that's known for much more sort of high spots and kind of, you know, more kind of choreographed kind of wrestling, like, I wouldn't expect to be doing that myself. Like, what would be the point in that? You know, it's like, I don't know.
I think you've seen you doing like a 450 look pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. So
I'm pretty sure I could do a 450 if I wanted to.
I think you probably could too. You should try that.
I'm a pretty athletic son of a gun, Malcolm. You know what I mean?
I think you are. I'm not denying that.
It's a high risk. It's a high risk maneuver. A lot of the time, it's not necessary.
That's true. That's true. Fair question. Fair statement. Fair statement. I guess the final question, and this is my favorite for many reasons, from TKO Kasenko. He said, essentially, the question is, would you ever face MuscleManMalcolm for the NWA Championship?
Oh, who said that?
TKO Kasenko.
TKO Kasenko's, in other words, one of your incognito accounts.
Whoa. No, sir. This is another human. I would never ask that question.
A Malcolm bot.
I'm just reading. Reading.
I think the more appropriate question would be, would Malcolm want to put himself through that?
I mean,
given his current level of experience.
I have taken a bump. So clearly I can wrestle.
Oh, well. And hey, you're on the internet talking about wrestling, so you must be an expert.
If I watch it, I obviously know how to do it.
Hey, you're right. Given the fact that you talk about wrestling online, and you've been given that that's what people like Sean Ross Sapp use as their sort of qualification. Hey, I went to a wrestling school for a day and I took a bump. Now I'm allowed to critique whatever I want and speak like I'm experienced.
Yep.
Hey, go ahead. You should get a title shot.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's all stupid, right? You know, wrestling's, you know, right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's a no. Well, but that's an X next to that one. Well,
I dare say, look, I know you're a very accomplished powerlifter, and I know that you're a good athlete. You know, albeit a little strange. I dare say that, you know, one day if you took it seriously and applied your trade and worked on your craft, you know, you could earn an opportunity for sure. But, you know, there's the national title, there's the TV title, you know, there's a lot of things you got to go through before you get to.
Oh, I understand that.
World title shot.
I mean, I understand that, of course. I mean, the goal is always going to be facing you for that title. That would be.
Are you training to be a wrestler? Is that what's happening now?
I mean, currently, yes.
Where are you training?
In Maryland.
With?
Oh, MCW.
Good.
Yes, good place. I know you.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. So one day it could happen. Maybe we'll see what the future holds.
I will keep tabs on you through Danny.
All right.
He will give me his honest opinion.
Great. Of course. Well, I want to say thank you for the time. It's been a lovely time. I essentially almost got a title shot, so I'm going to call that a W as far as I'm concerned. Hopefully the pay-per-view will, of course, deliver. Of course, you will hopefully retain your NWA Worlds Heavyweight Championship. I think I'll put my money on you in this scenario. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you really enjoyed it. Make sure to watch NWA Back for the Attack this Sunday, March 21st on FITE TV. So,
and make sure you subscribe to FITE TV to watch all brand new episodes of NWA Power starting on Tuesday.
do it. Thank you guys for watching the video. Really enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, share, and always subscribe. And we out.
We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a MuscleManMalcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this subscribe. If you like the channel, this subscribe. If you like the channel, this subscribe.